So I made an ADCC prediction video where my picks, well, weren't great. But I mentioned in that video that ADCC was super unpredictable and literally anything could happen. In that video, only 2 of my predictions actually came true, and one of them was the under 60 kilogram ladies division winner, Fionn Davies. Fionn dominated her bracket and came away with a gold over Brianna St. Marie in the finals, who I predicted we would see there. I think it's going to come down to Brianna St. Marie and Fionn Davies, and I'll be picking Fionn with her experience, who might just have the strategic edge over the dangerous submission hunter, Brianna St. Marie. The other prediction I made that turned out to be right was the under 66 kilogram men's winner. I knew that this man would be the strongest, the most precise, the most confident, and the least scored upon, and that is none other than BabyShark. The under 66 kilogram is one of the most stacked divisions that has ever come together. And something about the 2 South American trials winners, Diogo BabyShark Reis and Fabricio Andrey, just felt a cut above the rest to me. The first South American trials was a shock to everybody when the relative newcomer Diogo Reis emerged the winner after submission and submission, including a massive upset heel hook win over Fabricio Andrey, his black belt world champion teammate under Melky Galbao. And then an even bigger upset win over breakout star of the year Diego Pato in the finals, where he applied a very strange strategy and out-wrestled Pato. But more on that later. For now, let's take a look at his ADCC matches. The first match that Diogo Reis drew was against the Welshman Ashley Williams. And it was clear from the start that Ash did not want to wrestle and stay on the feet with BabyShark, so instead, we got to see Shark's guard passing game in full effect for the first 5 minutes of the match. Just before the points mark, Diogo Reis sat with Ash and they entered a leg entanglement battle. This felt like a ballsy move from Shark, given that the leg lock game is probably Ash's best area, but Shark was controlling the attacks and proved his extreme confidence was with good reasoning while he cycled through straight ankle locks, toe holds, and tried to expose a heel. With about a minute left, we saw for the first time Shark's genius tactics that came into play, where he baited Ash into passing his guard. And now that he had Ash standing, he took the opportunity to stand up as well and wrestle with Ash, where he knew definitively that he was stronger. So Ash had no choice but to wrestle with a better guy or pull guard and get a negative point so late in the match. As you'd expect, Diogo got the 2 points for a takedown, and this was the first time of many on that day that Diogo's tactical strategy was too much for his opponents.
I think there was a question about it for sure.
Yeah,
they would have decided.
Diogo Reis is going to move forward over Ash Williams with a 2-0 score.
Next up came probably the most difficult match psychologically for Diogo against his teammate and friend Fabricio Andrey. And this is how ADCC works. To avoid fake matches, they make teammates fight each other in the first or second rounds. Everyone knew this match was coming, but because he had already taken out Andrey with a heel hook at the first trials, there was no doubt in my mind he would win it again with the confidence he'd be bringing into this match. Diogo must know that he doesn't want to wrestle with Andrey, because just like at trials, he sat guard and looked to get under Andrey's legs, and this was the only opponent Diogo actually sat guard with. BabyShark got onto the legs of Andrey, but this time it wouldn't be as easy as it was at trials, and it was clear that Andrey had been working on his leg defenses for the championships. Andrey was getting much closer than Ash did to passing Diogo's guard, but his retention and speed when in danger was incredible in this match.
Look at this, the arm almost exposed.
Oh my goodness!
No points were scored and we went to overtime, and early on, Andrey hit a deep single and was able to sink a choke on Diogo with no hooks. Diogo fought hard to turn out of danger while also avoiding the back take, so no points were scored. But now it seemed like Diogo would be down on the judging, so he would need to get something going and quick. Andrey started to slow and Diogo was still shooting shots to get something going, but it looked like he would be down in this one with only about a minute and 40 seconds left in the match, until he got his deepest shot yet and ended up with a body lock. He got Andrey down and started climbing to get a hook with only a minute left. But then he completely gave up on fighting for the back and just stood up. And this looked super weird, but if you look back on Diogo's trial championship fight against Diego Pato, he actually did the same thing over and over in the overtime round.
What?
He lets go of the body lock. What on earth happened there?
What happened?
And this had people completely puzzled, but it actually makes a lot of sense as a strategy for Diogo. Instead of using a ton of energy to get his hooks and fight for back control, Diogo opts to let his opponent up and get another takedown entry to force the judge's hand in his favor. He won't win on points this way, but if he can survive to the end of the match, it would be impossible for the judges not to side with him if he continuously took his opponent down to turtle or to their side. And getting them down is the easy part for Diogo. So after 2 good takedowns without being able to secure takedown points or back control, Diego took the judge's victory pretty easily.
Diogo Hayes with the clutch decision-making. I believe that might have been there at the end, the decision-making to not ride out turtle position for that long, but instead to give himself an opportunity to have more options. Might have been what led to him winning that decision.
And as the commentator Jake Watson mentioned, if he had rode out the turtle position on Andrey's back instead of getting a second takedown, he may not have done enough to get a clear, decisive win. Now Diogo would have to go up against Joshua Cisneros in the semi-final match, who this time he elected to wrestle with right from the start. It took a few minutes, but eventually he landed a takedown that Cisneros recovered from. Down the line, just before the points started, Cisneros answered back with a takedown of his own, and Diogo elected to play from the bottom, entering a reap and trying to get on a heel as much as possible. Unable to get a submission, Diogo got back up and we saw more wrestling, and this time Diogo landed a clean double leg for 2 points. And that pretty much was all she wrote for this match. Diogo never stopped attacking as the time went down, which made it so Cisneros could never get in on a clean attack and was always moving backwards. And this made for another BabyShark win, pushing him into the finals. In the finals, BabyShark would meet Gabriel Sousa. And Diogo once again chose to stand with his opponent, and this time it was against arguably the best wrestler he had faced all weekend. But it didn't matter, he dominated the wrestling exchanges with arm drags and counter scrambling, even hitting a beautiful re-drag, making Sousa pay for a sloppy arm drag and overexposing his back. He also attacked the legs just like he did in the other matches and spammed again his beautiful inversions into the backside heel hook attack and threatening the toe hold on the opposite leg. Once points hit, they stood up again and it was back to excellent wrestling for Diogo, where he hit another beautiful arm drag and ended up in a power half position that he transitioned into double unders and was able to get his points by bringing his hooks in before getting shaken off to the bottom, where he threatened legs again non-stop. And credit is due to Sousa here, who managed to stay just safe enough on some very deep bites on the knee line. Sousa also never quit in trying to pass and trying to score, but BabyShark's leg pummeling and inverting was just too much to pass, and Diogo rode out his 3-point lead to finish his flawless run to the top of the podium.
And new ADCC 66 kilo gold medal champion, Diogo BabyShark Reis.
So now that we know that BabyShark dominated his weight class at ADCC, what's next for the 20-year-old? If you ask me, the next match that makes the most sense is one with Mikey Musumeci, who's arguably the best fighter in the world that was left off the ADCC roster in 2022. Mikey received an invite to ADCC before some of the trials events even took place, because of his unbelievable list of accolades as a grappler. He's a 5-time black belt world champion with 4 in the gi and 1 in no gi, and has beaten and proven that he can hang with the best at under 66 kilograms or 145 pounds, despite being more comfortable at the 135 pound weight class. What's weird to me is Mikey had to pull out of ADCC due to an injury, yet he's competing at One Championships on September 30th, just 2 weekends after ADCC took place. Maybe he's recovered enough to compete in a super fight, but didn't feel ready for the tournament. But I don't want to speculate too much because I'm sure he has a good reason with his competitive nature. Regardless, I think these two are the very best at this weight and will put on an amazing show. With Mikey's unpassable guard and Diogo's relentless passing and pace, the styles match up incredibly. Not to mention both are leg locking experts and would be on the offensive attacking non-stop, and we'd be sure to see a submission in that match. Who's number one? Flow Grappling, make it happen, please.
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do.